Hey guys, Pete here. I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about flat rate strategies. If you don't realize it, you're going to see a skew away from replacements, and more people are wanting to repair. Now, there's a big push right now for HVAC businesses to be selling. And you've got to be careful. What you need to be doing is serving. And you can do that by offering more options on your repairs. So on level of service pricing, just to be a reminder, this is kind of what this overview is looking like. Now I've added a few pages, but the concept is here, let's jump in on this one right here, that we can come in at one level and pretty much do the same repairs, do multiple repairs at the same price, okay? So a contactor and a capacitor generic, they cost about the same, they take about the same amount of time to do. Why do we have 20 or 30 repair options and all the prices are about $404 if that's your cost? And so we use a formula to fix that. Now, there's some other things that I've began adding in here because you certainly have repairs that are very common and you want to have those pre-priced. Maybe we'll talk about, on this one, a leak search. Obviously, a basic bubbles leak search would be part of your diagnostic, but if you had to go in and actually do a pressurized leak search and start searching the whole system to try to find leaks, you'll charge separately for that versus an electronic leak search. And then, of course, we can package your leak repair, pulling a vacuum, putting a dryer in, and then recharging. And you can figure by the refrigerants on that. So if you come down and you have your per pound refrigerant charge, first pound is going to include all your setup and everything else, and then by the pound, which includes all of your labor and overhead as you add the refrigerant, depending on what type of refrigerant it is, R410A, R22 or R22 drop-in, A2L, whatever that's going to end up being. But I wanted to share with you a couple other concepts. When we get into really deep level of service, I was looking at just how it just kind of looks like a busy chart. And this is not overly retail friendly, but if we're trying to get a lot of repairs, like this is 20 different repairs at level 1 or category 1. What is category 1? Category 1 is a repair that takes about an hour, and each level depends on what the part costs for you to put in. So it's kind of like categorizing time and material in a way that's really quick and easy to look up, and you don't have to go pricing dozens and dozens of repairs based on this. But we're trying, we added this little screen in the back here. I'll show you this, kind of just so that it's not so boring, right? And so we can put something like that in the background. You can see a little brazing in there. Actually, I'll show you what that looks like. Here's how that works. We take the transparency out, and it's just some brazing in the background that we could take and fit about there, come in and just minimize that and drop it in the background, right? But with the same effect, I wanted to show you what that might look like that I thought was a little bit better. So I put this as an example in this pricing book so that you can put just a bunch of repairs in there, and then you can see all of these different components in the background. Now I've got them in about 50%. You can drop them back a little bit more if you want, but that was kind of a good strategy. And the other thing is, how about electronics protection? So let's say that let's look at this guy here. So we've got this guy here. Here's a circuit board getting burned up off a heating and air conditioning system. Well, you may offer protection. Level 1 protection will be a basic surge protector. Level 2 might be a more robust one. And level 3 might be a monitor with built-in surge protection altogether. And so having these visuals helps your customer to understand, listen, you've got electronics in your equipment. There's blackouts or brownouts. Electricity has voltage fluctuations, dirty electricity. The electric companies, create all these situations, and we've got these devices available to you to keep you from having a really expensive repair one day. So that's an option. But even, let's look at IAQ. So whatever your IAQ is, this one here, I've got an air scrubber in here. We kind of describe what an air scrubber does. Here's a UV light, what it does, and then here's a media filter and what it does. And you can have multiple pages on this, but again, to have the visuals in here, like the sick house, that really helps. There's other ones out there that have a thermometer in hanging out the mouth, and I actually had uploaded a couple here. Let me show you some of the other ones that I was looking at. This one's kind of cool. It has a the tenant is sick from the house, and by the way, you can flip these guys so that they face the better direction, and then come in and drop this stuff behind, and there's all kind of cool stuff you can do here because this is Canva. So that's an example there. So you can do some IEQ accessory add-ons. You can flip through the back of the book and just show what these are. And then let's say though you just have a common repair and you want to give some options. So let's use a contactor. This might be a nice little example here. Now pulling back, here's what it looked like. Contactors, I'm gonna put this here. These are your frontline defense of electrical power inrush to your compressor and your condenser fan motor, right? So maybe a generic single pole, $324, that feeds your compressor and condenser fan motor. Standard size, normal duty, comes with a 1 year parts and labor. But maybe you have a heavy duty version. There's one that you like, and so you may have a sealed 2-pole or 1-pole, and you may offer a 3-year warranty. Then you can come up with something that's heavy duty and solid state with time delays built in it, sealed contactors, keep the ants and stuff like that out there, debris, and then there's a description here. So what you're doing is instead of just putting in a generic contactor based on your cost, is it gives you some flexibility. So I'm dropping a few of these examples in here. If you have an idea that you like, please share it in the comments. But what we're going to do is we're trying to keep this as simple as possible, but guys, we have to offer multiple options, okay? You're not helping your customer out if you give them the bare minimum. You need to give them as many of the solutions that are actually available to them so that they can make those choices. The key is to come across as a consultative technician and not a selling technician, because nobody wants to be sold. Of course, everybody likes to buy. Pete Ramsey here, HVAC Greatness. Hope you got something out of this. I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye-bye.